That's why we got to talk about how great love is. And yet, our house, how none of us would be doing right now without her decision to push that one last time. Without her decision to say, go on and cut me open so that baby could get life that never gives. The life that never gives, not only when you're in the world, but even once you leave the world. You can, you can, prepare to be together. The better is already here. It's a new season, y'all. This is a new season. Come, hey.
So is y'all ready to get started with this Sunday school? Because we only got about 45 minutes to get it in. But we could get it in 45 minutes. No big deal. Islam, Islam, Islam. So we got Royal Robe Sunday school today because your chick woke up late and I'm still on another time frame. So I'm a little off on the time. You know what I'm saying? So we are here today. We're going to talk about mother, how great she is, why this is an important topic. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers all around the world. So Islam, Islam, Islam. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We're going to turn to the east. It's going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another, standing on our square. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, Islam. I would like to first rise to my highest and give the highest praises to our Father God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Also, Allah, the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. We give honors to the duality. We give honors to the balance here at the Modern Science Temple of America. That balance is so important because you can't give honors to one without giving honors to the other because it took both for us to even come into these bodies, into these forms. So we must give honor to the source that be, and that's mother and father. Islam, I like to rise and give holy honors to our illustrious and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was the founder of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, or the Moorish Science Temple of America. The founder, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We want to give honors to him. Honors for him that he brought us this message of love so that we can learn how to love instead of hate. And we want to give the highest honor to him for that because he didn't have to. He sacrificed his life to bring the message to the people here in North America. So we want to give honors to him for that because it was a prophet that came in these days and times to save us from the iron hand oppression. And we didn't even pay attention that he was even here at that time, or even that they still walk until this day. We still have the prophets that walk the land to this day. Islam, because spirit don't die. Man and Allah are one. Islam, so man don't die. The flesh does, but that spirit still stays. Islam, Want to rise and give honors to the forerunner to our prophet, who was like John was to Jesus. That's our brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey Bay. I give him his Morris attributes. He says, the pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both. He said so many great things. Garvey he paved the way for our prophet to bring us this message. So he prepared for us to meet the king. So he brought that. He was teaching what this nationality thing was all about. He was Jamaican from Jamaica. You see the difference? He didn't say I'm black from Jamaica. He was Jamaican from Jamaica. You see how it correlates together? There's a balance. It goes together. You know what I'm saying? It's not like oil and water. These things go together. Islam. So we want to give honors to Marcus Mosiah Garvey Bay. I want to rise and give honors to all the prophets that were brought before us and all the wonderful works that they brought into us. I want to give honors to all the heads of states, the grand sheiks, the grand sheikesses, the grand governors, grand governesses, sheiks, members, sympathizers. I want to give honors to each and every one of you. Thank you. Without the members, the movement would not be doing anything. I give honors to each and every one of you grand sheiks out there that keep these temple doors open, regardless of what anyone says about you or how they feel about you. You're still doing the prophet's work. Remember, they talked about Jesus. So you got to expect for even your own brothers and sisters to talk about you. But remember, they talked about Jesus. And remember, Jesus' own people put him up on the cross. So it made it no different. Islam. So we want to give honors to that and giving honors to this Sunday, giving honors to all mothers all over the world for all the wonderful works that they do in the flesh, in the spirit, and beyond. Islam. So happy Sunday, y'all. I hope everybody's having a great Mother's Day. And be grateful for your mother. Be grateful for her. Yes, happy Mother's Day. Be grateful. You chose your mother. You chose this vessel to come through. So you must show honor and be grateful. You did. You chose your parents. They didn't choose you. You chose them, which is so beautiful. So today we're going to go in and out of the circle 7 because I only have so much time before I have to go do some work before I spend time with my mommy, Islam. And so I'm going to come out of this circle 7 in a few places. We're going to go into our one-on-ones today. Yeah, we're just going to have a little dialogue. I want to talk about this. Let's do this first. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the Prophet, by the noble Prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. Islam. And in this insert it states, know thyself and thy Father God Allah. Because you have to know thyself before you can know thy Father God Allah. You don't know yourself, there's no way you can know Allah. Islam, no way you can know Allah. So the genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of events, life works, and teaching in India, Europe, and Africa. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life works and teaching. Dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. Dear mothers, it starts with us. Dear mothers, because these lessons start with us. They start in the womb. So dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones that they may learn to love instead of hate. That they may learn to love instead of hate. You're going to fall through, though. Dear fathers, by these lessons, you can set your home in order, and your children will learn to love instead of hate. There's a difference. Mother can lay out the law, father enforces it. That's why mother, with just mamas, it may be that they may learn to love instead of hate. But when mother and father, because there's one mother and one father that's over us as a human race and a human family. So it's gonna take the two, but that dad brings that order. He brings that order to the house. And the children will learn to love instead of hate. Because that order, that law and order that he brings to Islam, the lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity. As I am a prophet and the servant is worthy of his hire, you can receive this pamphlet at expense. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages, have these secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims of America. All authority and rights of publishing of this pamphlet of 1927. So, these were loosed, and in 1927, this was published. Islam. So I wanted to give you a little bit of that. Now we're going to go into one because I'm going to go into chapter 2. But I kind of wanted to just come into one so we can get to this mother degree. Islam. So, time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when they were not. The bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yet from the finite point of view, the time will come when there will be no more. But man himself is not the body, nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Creative fate gave to man, to spirit man, a soul, that he might function on the plane of soul. Gave him a body of flesh, that he might function on the plane of things made manifest. Why did creative fate, y'all need to be peeping this out. Why did creative fate give to spirit man a soul, that he might function on the plane of soul? Why did creative fate give to soul a body of flesh, that he might function on the plane of things that are made manifest? Hear now, ye cherubim, ye seraphim, ye angel, and ye men. Hear now, O protoplast, and earth, and plant, and beast. Hear now, ye creeping things of earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear now, ye winds that blow, ye thunders, ye lightnings of the sky. Hear now, ye spirits of the fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore will be. For wisdom speaks from out of the highest plane of spirit life. Wisdom. That's a feminine energy. Wisdom is. Man is the thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time. For things that are concerned with time, begin and end. The thoughts of Allah are everlasting, of the past unto the never-ending days to come, and so is man, the spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself the potencies of Allah, just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that especial plant. So spirit man is the seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Islam. Now seeds are perfect, yeah, as perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. We're going to get into that. So I'm going to stop right there. The child is as perfect as the mother is. As I was reading, and this comes out of chapter 1, but we say chapter I in the Moorish Science Temple of America because it's pointing to you. This is you. The creation and fall of man. That's what this is about. Man fell, pulled us right on down with him. The child is only as good as the mother is. Mother's great. Mother got you here, right? So what was going on in the mother at the time? Because the child is as perfect as the mother is. So that's why it's important our thoughts, words, deeds, everything that goes on with us as we're carrying these children in our womb. It's major. It's major. It's a big thing, guys. Even from the father. If you're not in alignment, you can keep thinking it's all the mama. No, your semen has a lot to do with it too. Because if you're not in balance, when you go in and you create that electrical currency, that electricity to hit that egg and create that child, your energy still just transformed through that way too. Remember, energy is just transformed. This is an energy thing. We on frequency around this bad boy. So energy exchanges. It just changes. It exchanges. That's it. Islam. That's why as spirit man, as its frequency, man don't die. So the child is only as perfect as the mother is. So a lot of times, you'll hear people, oh, my mom this, and they blame their whole life on their mother. Everything that they go through, they blame it on their mom. But in all reality, and it's always the bad stuff that they're blaming. It's always that this wasn't this and this wasn't that. So it's everything bad that they look at that they diss mama on. Islam, thank y'all for the light. And you have to understand there's one thing that must be clear to a lot of children or a lot of people out here, even adults, because there's a lot of adults that they don't even rock with their mom. Don't see how that happens, but they don't rock with their mom. You don't even know what your mother was going through at the time that she was carrying you, what her mind was like, how she was being treated by maybe your father or anyone else. Maybe she was a young mother and people shunned her for being young. So she was shamed. So all that energy she's feeling is coming to you. Maybe she wasn't spoken to in the best way. Maybe she was hiding the pants. Maybe she did all these things. But that energy that she was feeling, her emotions and everything were coming straight to you. Whatever your daddy had going on had a lot to do with it too, but because you're with your mother in the amount of time that you are from this egg until you become this full person, this body, so you spend more time with mommy, with Ian. So whatever she's going through, because what you eat the baby, if the baby don't like it, it's coming back up. So can you imagine just your energy and the way your attitude and the way you show up, how that's affecting your baby? It affects our children in many more ways than we can imagine. That's why you pay attention to the seed that you planted. Because remember, this is a seed. Now, seeds are perfect. Yes, perfect is the source from which they come. Now, remember, that's a seed in you. And that seed gets planted when that man comes into you to help you create this life. That seed is planted in a soil. That seed is planted in the soil or the soul. And it's perfect as the source from which they come. But they are not to unfold into life made manifest. The child is perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in a soil. Man, do you hear that? I have 4 sons. I was able to give birth to 4 sons, 4 men, 4 nations. So man has to be planted, deeply planted in the soil that he might grow. Unfold as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was full ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth this human seed into the soul, into the soil of soul. He threw that seed into the soil of soul. Now remember, the soul has actions, thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing. Islam, JJ, thank you, boo. Thank you. I love you. Thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing. These are the actions of the soul, not the essence. So do you allow your soul, you have control of it. You employ the soul to do what it needs to do. You're the one that calls to it what it does. Because see, we planted you in a soil of soul. And it grew apace, and man became a living soul. And he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. So we started vibrating so slow when we fell. Everything started vibrating slow. If we were vibrating high, our connection with nature and the universe, the mother source, would be so in tune. We would hear birds and be able to communicate with them. Because honestly, if you quiet yourself enough and get to learn nature enough, you can hear the different birds and their songs that they sing. That we'll sing in unison with them. But you'll think all birds sound alike. Because you're vibrating on such a low vibration that they all sound alike. When all birds do not sound alike. They do not. They all have a different sound that they put out. They all have a different vibration that they put out into the universe. But when we're vibrating in such a low vibration, you can't hear that. You can't hear the squirrel talking to you. You can't hear none of that because you're vibrating too low. But we have dominion over all of these things. You heard me say, here now, oh protoplasm. Here, that's us demanding to call to things because we call to manifest all things. You don't even realize it, but we do. We manifest everything in our lives, whether good or bad, you manifested it. Islam, no different. Hey, cousin, Islam cousin. So, as I said, being planted in this soil of soul, and it growing apace. And then you're just the ether of the spirit plane vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifest. The perfumes and odors, the true sensations, and the all of love manifest. All of love manifests. When we bring forth life, all of love has manifested. When mother brings forth life, love has manifested. Because it grew apace while it was inside of you and just growing until now we're birthing this baby. We're bringing forth life into a world. So we're bringing spirit and soul and we're bringing it into the manifest. So the perfumes and the odors of all that sensation. And when you go outside and you can smell the trees, the different trees, they all don't smell the same. You might think they do, but they don't. It's because all of the pollution in the air stops us from really getting the true essence and perfumes of the universe. The essence and perfumes of the universe. So, it's important that we pay attention to these things. You know what I'm saying? That's why we gotta raise ourselves up to a more infinite wisdom. Remember, finite things can't understand things infinite, and we're infinite beings. But if you're vibrating so low and so slow, you'll never be able to even catch that, imagine it, or see it. Islam. And these soul attributes became a body beautiful, A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are learned. And here he tarries many ages. So that's how you've been here many times. That's what I said. You choose your parents because you choosing to come back here to get it right. Because you're going to keep returning until you get it right. You can keep thinking that you can run from this truth or run from yourself, but you're going to keep returning until you get it right. You can think it's a joke or not. You'll find yourself on another TikTok in about on another plane of life hearing the same thing, because until you get it right, you're going to come back. You're going to get the message. You're going to get the lesson. This is what this is all about. The cycle of life. Come and learn these lessons so that you can put yourself at a better place. It's not about attaching yourself to anything. And I'm not here to convince you of anything. But it's about getting yourself together, because this is a self-improvement movement that you really can't encompass in a box with everything else, because this makes you work on yourself. When I'm looking at other doctrines, it gives you an excuse to blame it on somebody else. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Some things are going on. And mommy gonna always be here, regardless. Even if I can't be here in form, I'm gonna show up in spirit. My spirit gonna somehow ring throughout this bad boy. Thank you, cousin. It's cool. I just love when you join and give your insight on, your knowledge. I just love that. So yes, I just love it, love it, love it. So as I was saying, we become a body beautiful. A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are learned. Until these lessons are learned. No matter what, as I said, you can't run away from this truth. The truth is going to find you. It's going to snatch you up, because fire and brimstone coming. And when the fire catch you on your back, it's snatching you into this truth. So you're going to get the truth regardless if you want it or not, whether you want it in this flesh or whether you want it on the next plane of life. You're still going to get it. It's still going to come to you. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. So we go through these things in life because we have to build up strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. So without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. So these foes show up in our life to strengthen us, because thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. So through all you go through, even, oh, my mama did this, my mama did that, she wasn't there, she was over there, she did this, she did that. You can keep pointing out and blaming and blaming. That might just be a fault for at that moment, right? Yahshua, Islam, maybe that's a fault for the moment. But your thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. So you chose that mom so you could have the strength enough to operate on this plane. Because obviously, when you seen her, you felt she was strong enough. No matter what, if she was strung out on something or whatever, she was obviously strong enough to get you here. Islam. Hey, my brother Islam. Thank you for the Mother's Day shout out. Fruits of Life. Always great for you to be on. Always love hearing you. Joshua, you have any questions or you want to give any demonstration at this point before I continue? Huh? Oh, I can't hear anything you're saying. Islam. I can hear you say Islam, but wait, let me. Maybe I'm not. Okay, say one more time. Oh, Islam. Islam. I appreciate you. I gratitude for you being on today. If you have any questions or you want to chime in and camel back off of me, please feel free to do so. Because we all learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? Islam. Okay. So I'll continue on. So our thoughts must be developed by the exercise of strength. So this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. That he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Because remember, Allah's strong by many ties. And when prophets come, and even when they reincarnate, they come back 7 times, 10 times stronger than before. Because they have to come back to really push this message and get the attention of the people. So there's a part where the prophet says, I can occupy 1 body, 2 bodies, 100 bodies, 500 bodies. I cross the borderline at will. So when no one thinks that resurrection is a fact or thinks that that's real, then you really denounce Allah. You don't believe there's an Allah. You don't believe that because you don't even believe resurrection even exists. And it does because you resurrect every day. You resurrect your thoughts. If you are growing in your journey of healing, you're resurrecting your thoughts daily. You're changing the way you think. Your life, words, works, and deeds, that shifts. So that starts to resurrect. It starts to grow apace. It starts to grow more. You start to elevate. You start to become that infinite wisdom. And you stop thinking at this finite level. Because finite things, they can't even see things that are infinite. No matter how hard they try, they can close their eyes and meditate for the first time and keep them closed for an hour. But if the heart ain't sincere, it ain't gonna pop out for you. You ain't manifesting nothing. You have to be sincere about this work. And any work you do, whether it's for more science, whether you're practicing yoga, whether you do tarot cards, if your heart ain't pure in nothing you do, you're going to tear stuff up. Because that's how strong we are. We don't realize it. So when our thoughts are on the most negative things and we wonder why our life is always negative, because that's where we're putting our thoughts. So we're manifesting them things. So each and every one of you, that mother in you is manifested. Put them thoughts in more of a higher essence of listening and learning. We all got to learn the balance of who we are. Each one of us carry 23 chromosomes from our mother and 23 from our father. We are both our mother and our father. So we are both male and female, no matter who you are. Your makeup is of your mother and your father. Islam. So we got to learn how to balance that. Sisters, yeah, we might come off more. We might have the masculine, whatever they say. We come off too masculine or whatever. But we got to learn that balance because our brothers have to understand there's a feminine side to you too. The right and left, the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain. One's feminine and one's masculine. So no matter who you are, so you just using one side of your brain. Maybe that's the problem. They kept tricking us and telling us only the left side of your brain works. Do you even realize there was no feminine aspect to you? So everybody coming from a masculine standpoint. We ever thought about that? Because that's all they told you growing up. Only one side of your brain works. Well, why would he give us a whole brain? Makes no sense to me. So man is the Lord of all the planes of manifest, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast. But he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage. but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. And this is what I'm talking about. You're the Lord of all the planes of manifest. When you got here, you became the Lord of all the planes of manifest. So you are able to call to any of these things. You gave up your birthright just to gratify your lower self. So your birthright was the power to manifest anything. It was your power to manifest anything. That was your birthright, and you gave it up because you wanted to satisfy your lower self. You wanted to give gratification to that part. And the lower self, what does it breed? The lower self breeds lewdness, hatred, murder, slander, everything that harms. You rather had did that part. We would have rather had said, hey, I'm gonna just go into my lower self, give up my birthrights of being able to control all these things. And I'm gonna give up my Islam, my beautiful niece, and give up my birthrights in order to satisfy my lower self. I've done that before. I've had my, excuse my language, I've had my HOE moments. Please understand me as a woman. So sometimes I give up my birthrights. I gave up my birthrights to gratify my lower desires at the time. And I'm just being transparent. Y'all know I would get on here and be as transparent as possible. So it won't be nothing you can really say to me to hurt my feelings because I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm just gonna be transparent. And I can say that. Whether regardless of what I done did to gratify my lower self, whether it get back at that dude because he did me wrong, I'm doing that to gratify my lower self. I'm not doing that for any other reason. But see, we have a higher self too. We ain't gotta always be in this lower self. Will we regain our lost estate, our heritage? Yeah, we must suffer trials and temptations manifold. But let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and the spirit of the mighty Allah, who rules the solar stars, are his protectors and his guides. And they will lead to victory. You will be led to victory, each and every one of us. Nobody, it don't even matter. Let me tell you something. When Jesus said with courtesians, thieves, murderers, and all that, he said to teach with them. He said to teach them that they are greater than what they give themselves. That they don't have to go gratify their loose desires. That they can really rise their thoughts to infinite wisdom and become the gods and goddesses of this plane and run this thing. It's all because we don't see it within ourselves. So we keep ourselves on this low vibration with these people. But once we rise up into this higher vibration, which if y'all been paying attention to the weather, the northern lights, the cicadas, all of that is giving you some kind of, it's bringing back to who we are, y'all. Our ancestors paid attention to these things and we don't. We were talking about, oh my God, they said that this is going to happen. Oh my God, don't look at the sun. Oh, everything we let them show up to tell us that in reality it ain't the truth. These aurora lights, I might not have seen them because of the clouds. But let me tell you, the noises they were making. There's vibrations that come up out of these things. So even when you don't think you're affected by it, you're going to feel it. You're going to be affected by this energy. And it's a beautiful energy, y'all. It's a beautiful energy. Happy Mommy's Day, beautiful.
Mother's Day. I'm at work.
Oh, are you? Y'all, that's my niece. She's so amazing. She's going to be the most amazing psychologist in the world, therapist in the world. Yes, she is. I love it. I'm so glad you're here with us. Hey, Fruits of Life. Y'all should, oh, okay. Chapter 1 is the foundation for comprehending the self, the higher self. Islam. Islam. Yes, it is.
Yesterday I had quite the day, and I felt myself, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna return this energy, and I was like, no, because that's not your energy to return.
That's right. Come on now. See what I mean? We have control. We could be. Yeah.
Who's really getting hurt in the process? Me.
Exactly. So is it even worth it? That's why we got to learn how.
I just sat down and maybe looked at mine and I sat down and I was like, I better be so lucky. I was gonna be better.
That's right. But you know what? As I said, a soldier never knows his strength, but by a foe. Without a foe, a soldier will never know his strength.
That is absolutely true. And so I was talking to Grandpa Tony the other day, right?
Uh-huh.
And he tells me, he says, you've been distant lately. You've been quiet. I said, because I'm in this space where I really don't know what to do with myself. And I figured out that when I'm in that sort of space, the best thing for me to do is nothing. Because there's a message in there somewhere that I'm not receiving. But what we do sometimes is we try to push for that answer. Try to push for it. And some things you can't push for it. You have to be in the moment. You have to be in the self. You have to be in tune with everything to get it. And I realized that energy it had me off. And I wasn't receiving in the way that I needed to receive. But since I've been sitting in the silence and in my peace,
it's free, isn't it? You like free. You free.
you know, like go down too fast, hit the bottom, and all the air comes out of you, and you're like, and then you can breathe again.
Yes.
That's what it feels like.
Wow. Okay, love the analogy. That's what it feels like. All right. I love that. Okay. I love it. You know, and it's funny how our lower self could get away with us. You know, we could allow it to get to us, and then we just lose everything. And that's literally how we end up losing the birthright to who we are and being able to manifest the most amazing things in our life.
That's very true. We all have that little inner voice that tells us, "Oh, you're unworthy. Oh, you're unlovable. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're." That's the manifestation of all of the negativity you've ever heard in your life. People try to put a name to that voice, not knowing that voice is your own.
Is your voice? Yes.
It's your own thoughts. And until you can sit with that and be like, look, this is the feeling that I'm having. This is where I'm feeling it. This is the moment, and this is what it means. You'll never move past it.
Good. Yes,
I don't ever tell people to get over anything.
Yeah.
Because getting over something, you can't get over anything. You have to get through it.
That's right.
You get over something that it's still there. It's still there.
It's still there.
It's not there is if you're going through it, not around it, not over it, not past it, through it. You have to process through.
Islam, yes.
For it to no longer be a factor. We talk about speed bumps and about how things get thrown in our past for things to happen. And I heard you said something earlier about the trials and tribulations and the fire that we have to go through. You can't build beautiful things without a little stress.
Come through, yes. Talk about it.
I say all the time, I'm like, why does it have to be so hard? Why can't I just catch a break? Because that break is not for me to catch yet. I have to be under the pressure right now. My biggest blessings will come from my uncomfortability. We get comfortable and we get stuck. And I realized you can't grow unless you're uncomfortable.
That part.
If you're somewhere and you're comfortable and you don't feel like you have to do more or you don't feel like you have to push yourself more, you're not where you need to be.
Yeah, that's real. That's some real stuff. That's why I say my song is by Jacqueline Carr, and it's The Greater, because she says it's like a diamond. We're all like diamonds. Like you asked me, we're all diamonds. Diamonds have to go through so much pressure before they become a diamond. They got to go through a shaking. a beating, and a pressing. And our soul goes through the same exact thing. And that's how we build up strength. That's where we're building up our character through the things like you said that we go through. When we gotta go through them. We can't think if we get over them, right? Because getting over them, it's still there. You ain't dealt with it. So even when people get over your mama, it's not about getting over what they've done to you. Get through it though. And please understand that that came as your huh?
Acknowledge, and that's what I said. You have to address it. You have to acknowledge it. You have to accept that it has a place where it has a place, and then you have to leave it in that place.
Islam. Our brother said chapter 3. Oh man, wait a minute. Sorry, y'all. Chapter 3. Did my thing go blank? What happened? Sorry, y'all. My thing kind of went blank. He says chapter 3, LAU's lesson, the unity of life. Learn of your lower self and of your higher self. Definitely, because you do have two selves. So we do say to study yourselves. To study yourselves. So you hear the selves is not a singular.
I don't feel like it's a two-part thing. I feel like it's two halves of the same whole. You can't have one without the other.
It's a balance. It is a balance.
And that's why when people talk about shadow work, okay, they're like, oh, you have to address. No, you really have to do. You really have to. You really have to. Because the thing that a lot of people, I see the thing with a lot of people when they start on their spiritual journey and they start on their path to finding themselves, and they're like, oh, I have to deny all of the lower parts. No, that's where you're best up. You have to accept that that's still a part of you.
Well, see, that's why we say, okay, so in the lessons that we learn, when he talks about the higher self and the lower self, you have to, he's giving you resolution to throw off that lower self, right? But we know that it's there. But that's why he says, when people come and say, what should I study? Yourselves. And you'll come back and say, I did that. Okay, so what should I study now? Yourselves. Because you have to study the higher self and lower self, but you got to know your lower self well. You got to know that lower self well.
You have to know your lower self better than you know any high vibrator.
I promise you.
Because that lower vibrational part of yourself is the part that gets you every time.
Definitely. You give up your birthrights every time with this lower self person.
People are like, oh, I've been manifesting, I've been doing the work. I'm like, are you talking back to yourself? Are you confident in what it is that you're trying to manifest, or do you believe that it's really yours to have?
Right.
Do you believe that you are worth having what you're manifesting? Because if you don't, then it's not going to come to you.
That's true. That's so true. It's not going to come to you.
You have to know that it is yours. You have to be able to stand in the power of knowing that it is yours.
Facts. That's facts. And so as he was speaking of that, and that is so true. So I'm gonna come. Let me see. When man has conquered carnal things. Okay, yes, because when man has conquered these carnal things, his garment flesh will then have served its purpose well, and it will be no more. This flesh. So that's why I say man never dies. Man don't die. Man is a part of Allah. We're spirit, and we're a part of Allah. So the spirit part of us don't go nowhere. Our soul goes on the soul plane, but literally this part, it can disintegrate, but you still ain't went nowhere. You gonna find, I promise you, another body. So good, or it finds another body to occupy. That's why I say, because the devils do mighty things too, because that lower self can go occupy a body too. That higher self can definitely, the higher self looks for a pure heart though. The lower self don't care who it occupies. The higher self is looking for the pure heart, the faithful. Job lost everything in the Bible. Children, wife, everything. He lost everything, never did have nothing. His faithfulness that he prayed for his friends was the best part of Job. because he still didn't lose faith. And he still was the fruition. He still showed up being what he knew. Even through it all, he prayed for his friends. He wanted his friends to have great lives. And so when we are this energy we hold within us, we want to give that good energy out because the higher self wants that heart. It's searching for that good heart. So we can't get it caught up in this lower self stuff. Man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have full opened out, will have unfolded into the holy breath. The garb of soul will then have served its purpose well. And man will need it nevermore, and it will pass and be no more. And man will then attain unto the blessedness of perfectness and at one with Allah. Like straight up, if we even understood the powers we hold in us. But this does start with our mothers. It starts in the womb, job, the wombs of our mothers. These thoughts, these energies, just like my niece was just saying, all this stuff that's coming into us, even through our children. I had to realize where were my thoughts when I was pregnant. So you can even see when those thoughts, those seeds of your thoughts, where they were when your children come up and they become adults or teenagers, you start seeing the fruits of your labor literally unfold. So we have to be careful when you brothers are getting these sisters pregnant. You got to be careful how you treat her. She shouldn't grieve for nothing. She shouldn't cry. She shouldn't feel unwanted, unbeautiful. She should feel like the most beautiful thing in the world. And you should cherish her just like you would cherish a fruit tree that's going to feed you daily. Because she's there to feed your baby daily. So the energy that you're giving her is the energy she's giving to the baby. The drama that you're giving her is the drama she's extending to that baby. So the child is only as good as the mother is, y'all. Mothers are great. Go ahead. Mothers are great.
The mother is the garden from which all flowers.
Come on now.
Soil of the garden has not been aerated, is not taken care of, is not watered, is not nourished. Nothing from that garden will grow.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely nothing.
That's right. That's real. That's some real stuff right there. That's some real stuff right there.
Nourishing your soul, nourishing your body, nourishing your mind. This is how we survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of discord going on between the sexes, and that's because everybody wants to be taken care of, but nobody wants to take care of.
Oh, that's a good one. Say that one more time, because that's a good one.
Everyone wants to be taken care of, but nobody wants to take care of.
Well,
it is about reciprocation.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot give to someone what you do not have to give.
That's right.
And the problem is that a lot of people confuse themselves thinking that they have these things to give and they don't.
Okay.
It is okay to not have it all together.
That's right.
It's about the journey, not the destination. If by the end of the journey you have done what you felt like you're supposed to do, then you've done it. There's so much pressure on people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pressure that they put on themselves. You're not on any kind of clock to do anything. You don't have to have certain things by the time that other people have things, because maybe it's not your time to have them.
Right. Right.
Maybe where you are mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually is the determining factor on why you don't have those things yet.
That's all.
And until people can sit within themselves and say, this is what I'm lacking. We had this discussion before, the last time I was on your live. And I made a comment, I was like, oh no, Nancy, I'm gonna be petty. And you were like, no, baby, what? And I had to sit with that. I had to sit with that. so much. It's not me that wants to be petty. That's the lower vibrational part of myself trying to pull me back down to petty. I don't want to be petty.
That's right. It's right. Right, exactly. Right. Exactly. You're right. Wow. So you said it is a balance because you get so much of this 50-50 stuff and I'm going, first of all, we should just be able to take care of each other. It shouldn't have nothing to do with that. Yes, it's ridiculous.
And I don't care. I'm glad I'm alive, and I'm glad everybody can see me say it because I'm gonna say it for the whole world to hear. I don't care who calls me a pick me. I don't care who does what. I don't give. I am so tired of this. This relationship.
100. Thank you. Because if you only giving me 50% of you, you only get where's your other half going?
I want the good, the bad, the ugly,
all of
right,
it.
the wrong, all of it.
I need the whole because then we just showing up as these representations and stuff.
Especially the partner. Your partner has to know they are getting all the way around.
That's right.
All
That's right.
encompassing. That's why we have so many marriages that don't last because people fall in love with the flowers and not the roots.
People fall in love with the flowers and not the roots. That's a whole t-shirt. Y'all fall in love with the flowers and not the roots.
Every time somebody tells me that they love me, I say, do you love me or do you love the idea
of me? That's the part. A lot of times it's the idea of you.
You love the perception of who you think I can be, or do you love who I actually am? Because, and I'm the first one to say it, I can't show up for you all the time because I can't show up for myself all the time. But I'm always honest about that.
Yeah.
And if I have a day where I know I'm not going to be able to give you my best, I'm going to let you know that.
That's right. Or just the part that looks pretty. Yashua said, or just the part that looks pretty. And Rachel said, where you're supposed to be. I think she said that when you were saying something about being somewhere. Yeah, just the part that looks pretty.
The part that looks pretty. They like the shiny.
Yeah.
They don't like the parts that are underneath, and that's how you know. That's how you know if somebody really loves you. If you're having a day in silence, and they still see
you. Yeah, that's real.
To be loved is to be seen.
Yeah, that's real talk.
But people put on this, like you said, it's a mask, it's an identity. Oh, this is who I am. So how is anyone supposed to fall in love with you if they don't know who you are?
Totally, yeah.
How do you expect someone to love you if you don't know who you are? If you don't know what it is that you value and what you require, how is anybody else
supposed to know? Yes, you know what you say that a young lady told my son that he was responsible for her happiness. And I said, no, she's responsible for her own happiness. Because how you don't even know what make her happy. So I'm like, yes, I'm like, see, it came out. Sometimes it come out. But see, we got to understand, even when that lower self does come up, that we have the means to throw it off. But I'm going to be honest. Sometimes you got to, that lower self, sometimes you have to use this lower self. At the end of the day, I get it. But you can use the lower self in a way when you employ it. You can use it in a way.
I always say thank you.
Islam.
I appreciate your help, but I do not need it right now.
Okay. So you can do not. That's what I'm saying. It ain't got to come out ugly. You can cut somebody up without cussing them out or doing anything. Like, you can literally cut them up without doing any of that. And that might be your lower self, but you ain't let the lower self just act the fool. You at least contained it. You was like, let me contain the dragon. Let me contain you, dragon.
So this is what I think, because this has something to do with that acceptance, like I was saying. When I hear my lower vibrational self speaking to you, like just now, we've seen it real time happen. Because I'm about to turn all the way up.
Notice it, yes. And you gotta notice it. You gotta know the lower self well.
I noticed it. I thanked myself because so I heard something in therapy a couple of weeks ago that really rumped my socks. She told me, because I was telling her, No, I feel very angry. I feel like I'm harboring a lot of anger and resentment. And I'm like, and I don't know what to do with this because by nature, I am not an angry person.
Right.
I've never have been. Never have been.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this feeling. Don't know what to do with it. I don't know. I know there's healthy ways to process anger, but I'm not from a place where there was any type of healthy anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how to healthily express anger. And she said, you know what? She said, and thank yourself for being angry because anger is the part of you that loves you the most. It knows how much you've been mistreated. It knows how you've been disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
What I had to realize is that I don't have to come from that place of anger. I can be angry and I can address that I'm angry. But holding on to that is what pulls down.
That's so very true. That's so very true. Islam, go ahead. I'm listening. Islam.
I just want to handle that.
No, go ahead. Come on, please.
Saying, one thing I'd like to say, contemplate, meditate. Sometimes just mind shadows a lot. Tend to us astray. But and one of the parts that I really just life.
Islam.
I would say that no man runs to himself for every living thing is about something to understand. That's your part.
Yes.
And then it says they not do to other men what they would not have other men do to them. And when you tie yourself what we're working on is that
yes.
Part of us that we have to straight.
Yes, it's right.
Because when you think about it, we didn't have gravity with atrophy. So it constantly needs that stress to
Islam, okay.
yourself is just maybe a shadow. You will pass away.
Definitely.
And higher self, of course.
Islam. I love it. I love it. Yes. Definitely coming out of chapter 3. I love that. Islam for that demonstration. So really, yeah, he really gave that and Camel backed off of pretty much everything that has been said. I do want to come out of chapter 2 though, too, because as I said, these mothers, the mother degree, the mother, the higher self. And I want to point that out. What were you gonna say, Yashua? My apologies.
No, I said certainly.
Yes, that chapter 2 serious, right? Stands on exactly. Islam. Yes, yes. So could you read a little bit of that for me, Yashua? Could you do like from 1 to 7, and then I'll do 8 to 14? Okay.
One, the son of Herod, mainly selfish, foremost, counsel, ask to his then counsel said, John
Islam. Now, in that, we talking Mary and Elizabeth. Mary means the Aboriginal woman. Elizabeth is my God is an oath. Zoan is a low region. Egypt, Memphis was an oracle. So this was like it's so crazy how some of these things when you start researching them, how they come right back over to this land. They come right back to America. Where you can see Memphis, you can see all of these things that correlate us back to this land. But I just have to always make a point. My grandmother's name was Elizabeth on my mom's side. I had an Aunt Mary. So Mary, Elizabeth, and these biblical names run deep, but they all have meanings, y'all. They all have meanings. So as he was talking about, there's no strange happenings. Law governs all events because there's no coincidences. Law does govern all events. From the olden times it was ordained, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. I'm still in chapter 2, the education of Mary and Elizabeth. From the olden times it was ordained that you should be with us, and in this sacred school be taught. Elihu and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out to the sacred grove nearby where they want to teach. Elihu said to Mary and Elizabeth, "You may esteem yourselves thrice blessed, for you are chosen mothers of long promised sons, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed." We measure time by cycle ages. So 2,000 years is a cycle age. And the gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. An age had passed. The gate unto another age flies open at the age touch of time. This is the preparation age of soul, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of Allah and man. And these, your sons, will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of goodwill to men and peace on earth. A mighty work is theirs, for carnal men want not the light. They love the dark. And when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. We call these sons revealers of the light, but they must have the light before they can reveal the light. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their missions to the sons of men. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but through carnal thoughts, words, and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. Teach that the holy breath would make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That naught can make them one but love. That Allah so loved the world that he clothed his son in flesh, that man can comprehend. The only savior of the world is love. And Jesus, son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. Now, love cannot be manifest until its way has been prepared. And naught can rend the rock and bring down lofty hill and fill the valleys up, and thus prepare the way, but purity. But purity of life men do not comprehend. And so it, too, must come in flesh. And you, Elizabeth, are blessed, because yours is purity, made flesh, and he shall pave the way for love. So Elizabeth is John's mother. John is purity, because he comes to pave the way to receive the king. So he comes to pave the way for love. He was the purity brought to pave the way for love. This age will comprehend but little of the works of purity and love, but not a word is lost, For in the book of Allah's remembrance, a registry is made of every thought and word and deed. I gotta stop there because there's one thing I can always remember my grandma Rini saying is that no matter what me and your mama was doing, that God had his book up there, and when she go to heaven, he done wrote down everything we did, and he was gonna tell her. So when I say my grandma, this is why I say mothers are great, because grandma was putting this in me as a little girl. Lie if you want to. Think a lie. When I get up there, he gonna tell me, he gonna show it to me on a big screen TV. She was saying this, and big screen TVs weren't even out. Okay, my grandma was saying this when I was a child. So my grandma Rini, I know she up there looking at that registry, and she has got on me for so many things. One, I will always say, because I lied and told her I was allergic to oatmeal. Grandma, I'm sorry. Because she know now, like, this little chick, okay. So you can hide in the flesh, but when the spirit hit, you can't hide that spirit. That spirit gonna tell it all, baby. The spirit gonna tell it all.
Yeah, she said what's done in the dark will
Come to the light. Did your grandmas not tell you that? Did the grandmas not tell you that? Did grandma tell us that?
34 years old, and I promise you, I be doing stuff sometimes. I'm like, I'm sorry,
Always. Look, grandma's like, yep, always. Ha ha ha. Yes, grandma was no joke. My grandmother put the fear of God in you through her words. She didn't have to put her hands on you because she wasn't but 4'11".
I caught myself saying something crazy the other day, and I was outside in my garden and looked down, and there was 4 ladybugs right there, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
She will show up on us. She will show up on us. So that purity that is bright, and I just feel like my grandmas were that purity. They were purifying us at young ages, even though we didn't want to listen. But they were that purity bringing forth, so that we could receive the King when the King show up. We know what the King is in energy and spirit. Not looking for no form, not looking for no person. We looking for that Islam. Islam, I try to invite you on. We looking for that person. You know what I'm saying? We looking for that person. Kenya ba Tess Il Bay. I was trying to get you on here, Islam. But we be looking for that person. And I feel our grandparents were preparing us for a spirit. They wasn't preparing us for no person. They was preparing us for a spirit. They like, look, because I'm trying to let you know. Go on in lie if you want to, because I'm gonna find out when I get to heaven. And can't nobody tell me my grandma didn't take her stairway to heaven. Go ahead, Yahshua. Go ahead, Islam.
It's made of every thought, word, and deed.
Uh-huh.
Would I be, correct me if I'm wrong, would that another way of identifying that would be what?
The Akashic Records, right, Islam. Peace, you're right. The Akashic Records, definitely. Those are the records. Those are the records. You know what I'm saying? And you can literally look up those Akashic records. You can start digging into them to really see, and you're so correct. So that Allah's Book of Remembrance is definitely that. And when the world is ready to receive, lo, Allah will send a messenger to open the book and copy from its sacred pages all the messages of purity and love. Then every man of earth will read the words of life in a language of his native land, and men will see the light and walk in the light and be the light. And man again will be at one with Allah. Man again will be at one with Allah. So I want to tell you about this higher self too before we go any further. So in our 101s, we have a question and answers. It's always a question and response. So I like to call the 101s the quest I own. It's the quest I'm on because it gives a question and it's going to give you a response afterwards. So I'm going to start at, I want to go to Adam and Eve. Okay. So I'm going to start at 57. I'm going to do this for y'all, and then we're going to close out the meeting, but I want y'all to hear where this higher self, why I'm still pertaining to mama. In 57, it says, who were Adam and Eve? The response, they are the mothers. Mothers with an S and fathers with an S of the human family. Asiatics and Muslims. Where did they go? They went into Asia. What is the modern name given to the children? Asiatics. We're all Asiatics, y'all, if you're wondering what that is. What is the shade of their skin? Olive. Are the Moorish Americans any relation to these angels? Yes. We all have the same father and mother. Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve. Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. What is the devil? Sometimes called the lower self. How many selves are there? There's 2. Name them. Higher self, lower self. How can I tell you the lower self? Go to your belly button. Go across the belly button in the middle. Your lower self. All the nasty stuff comes out your lower self. This is how you can say, I got 2 selves. The nastiness comes out your lower self. Everything comes out of the bottom. The higher self comes up. That's why I say the heart, that physical heart, is that pinnacle mountain where the devil tempts Jesus, where the devil tempts the higher self, where the devil tempts the higher self. What did you say? El Baby Al Ali was given to. Oh, say that. I must have missed something. What I miss? Muslim. He laid in spirit. Okay, I'm gonna see what he says in a minute. But go ahead. You were saying something? Okay. Excuse me. There are the devil sometimes called the lower self. How many selves are there? 2. Name them. Higher self, lower self. What people represent the higher self? The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca. What people represent the lower self? Those who were cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teachings. So you accept teachings of somebody that really don't rock with you, that don't look like you, and all of these things. 70. What is the higher self? The higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and rights. Can the higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is our lion man. It is our lion man. How else does any form get here but through mother, but through that higher self? You got to come through the higher self to get here. You got to come through the higher self. What does the lower self breed? Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. What did the higher self say to the lower self? At one time, when he met Satan, he said, where are you going? What was the answer the lower self gave to the higher self? I am going to and fro the earth to see who I may devour. So the lower self comes up because heaven or hell or the earth. Heaven's not above, hell's not below, earth is not around. All of this is within you. All of this is within you. So you made your own situation. Who made you? Allah. You made you. Your own situations, your own everything. Islam. So who do you decide to come in contact with? Do you just love your lower self that much that you can't let go? But the lower self gonna keep coming up to see who he can devour in your mind, to see what part of your mind he can take with him. Has he finished his task of devouring? Yes, he has. So that just says, really, it's on you. Are you going to allow him to continue to go to and fro within you? Are you going to stop it? You can cut this curse if you want to. You can break this cycle if you want to. It's all up to you because salvation is personal. Salvation is very personal. And we have another brother that brought us some amazing words. His name, Brother Allah Il. He was the 3rd reincarnated prophet. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder. Then we have Brother Prophet Allah Il. As I said, you don't believe in a resurrection. You can't believe in the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Jesus, or Allah. It's impossible. Because these energies continue to flow, they continue to come.
And he says, Mother is great. She gave me, she gave me my form and she took care of it until I was big enough to take care of it myself. When I get out of this form, she will give me another one. Live right and treat your form right. When you go and come back, you will come back in a human form. If you don't live right, you may come back in any kind of animal form because man don't die. Man don't die. So he even talks about how great mother is. And if he treats his body right, she'll give him another body. And that's for any of us. If we out here, we ain't treating our bodies right mentally, physically, emotionally, or none of that, she ain't gonna trust us with another one. She's not gonna trust us with another one. So we are being sanctioned right now. What we doing? Are we really treating ourselves in the way we should as our God self? Are we cleaning ourselves up? I got flaws. I still got many things I'm working on. I'm not perfect, but I'm working toward perfection. I'm unfolding into myself. I'm unfolding into my true self. Dang, she came up and then went away. I'm unfolding into my true self. So, with that being said, I got a lot of work to do still. What are the consequences? Consequences for what, Yashua? Yashua, what were you gonna say? Oh man, I was waiting for him to come in raw for me. Not taking care of the body, right? Not taking care of the body, because in our
get out of here.
We love you. All right. Peace and love. I'm about to go do a client in a minute anyway after I close out. I'm glad you pointed that out. I love you too. I'm glad you pointed that out that they came from California. That's so beautiful to know. I know I've been doing a lot of research on the ancestors and just seeing where the different parts that they came from and things like that. And it's a beautiful thing to start tracing yourself. As I said, when you start tracing yourself back, masterminds don't forget. You can trace yourself back. You won't forget. You can remember who you are and whose you are. For real, for real. You can. But that's if you want to take the time to do so. Some just don't want to take the time to do so, right? So then it just leaves us in this thing. So I'm going to read these words from the prophet. It says, Islam, this is the instruction from your prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds, that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on. But the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Drew Ali. And that is why many hearts have been turned to stone, and many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sin. These are the trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but you will sacrifice the utmost of your life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temple. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace. Your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So the mother, I want everybody, I don't care if mommy's here, if she's not here. Mommy's always with you though. Even if mommy's not here, she's always with you. She's closer to you than your jugular vein. You're made up of your mother and your father. So where are they really? They still abide within you. So celebrate the mother within you. Celebrate her today within you. Give her honors and glory. Go make her favorite food and feed yourself that food. Give honors to the vessel that brought you here. Regardless of how you feel, just give honors. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 25, the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. So you want to look at one mother? Look at Mother Earth. She give you suck. She supplies the food for you. Man don't supply your food. Mother supplies the food. Mother supplies the food in the womb. When you get out the womb, she got food for you as the breast milk, and she can supply food for you and grow you some food on the earth. So mother is great. Mother is great. You know how much your mother will do for you? You know how much mothers will do for you? My cousin right here, Rachel, my cousin has 9 children. She is the bombest mom I have ever seen in my life. Growing up, as I was having children, I watched her and another one of my cousins. They were the example for me. And when I say 9 and holds it down well with grandbabies and everything, my cousin is but she was an amazing big sister to us growing up. We're talking, my cousin read, she was into crypto before y'all knew what that was. I was little girl. My cousin sit there reading the stock market every day in the paper. Before y'all even knew what any of this stuff was, she was already on that back in the late 70s, early 80s. So when I say grateful to have women in my life to emulate, to look at my own mother and watch her and how resilient she was. Mother is great, y'all. So we got to let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when we separate into the world, remember the relation that bindeth us to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. So we have a covenant amongst each other too, y'all. Y'all didn't know we had a covenant? The prophet brought our covenant to us. Remember, these were held. These lessons were held in India, Europe, and all these other places. Of these keys were held back from us. But we have a whole covenant that we should live by with one another. We were the quinceañeras and the bar mitzvahs came from the Moors. That was a part of the Moors. That was never a part of the people you see who is a part of now. That came out of us. We took our children into the next phase of life. Whether a young man into manhood, a young girl into womanhood, to teach these lessons that should be learned. We have a whole lesson in the Circle 7 for our young men. And it gives a 12-step ladder on what you should be teaching them. It gives a whole chapter on when they're going to look for a wife or a woman to not fix so suddenly, to examine her carefully. Because you could get apples that look great to the eye. They shiny and beautiful, but the core is rotten. That's why you got to teach your sons, mothers, teach your sons to not fix so suddenly on no woman. Examine her carefully. Brothers, you're not too old to do that. Examine her carefully. Because she look good don't mean nothing. Because she got the bag don't mean nothing. Examine her carefully. When you're choosing to have children with these women, examine her carefully. Make sure that's the woman you want to be the mother to your children. You want that energy she carries to carry on to your children. Make sure that's the one. Don't fix suddenly, brothers. Choose the mother of your seeds carefully. Sisters, choose the fathers of your seeds carefully. Stop popping your legs open to everybody. And then you have this baby and that baby. And now you're about to have another baby by somebody else. But you still complaining about how this person did you, but you laid up and had another baby with them. Stop doing that. Examine yourself carefully before you give yourself to these brothers. Examine the brother, examine yourself. Make sure this thing is in balance. Stop bringing children in the world that you're not going to allow everybody to love them. And I mean from both sides. Because you and the daddy don't get along don't mean grandma, auntie, uncles, and all them don't want to be a part of the lives of the children. So don't let one person be the reason why this child don't get to get loved on. Don't let that be the reason, y'all. So we got to examine each other more carefully, even when getting in relationships. Let's not fix so suddenly, sisters, because the brother look good or because of what he's driving or where he lives. Let's not fix so suddenly. Examine him carefully. Brothers, y'all do the same thing with these sisters because she don't went and got the latest BBL and all her body parts are made in China. No, sir. You better go examine her before she got all them body parts. Choose carefully so we can make great mothers. But sisters, until we stand up and start showing some honor to ourselves, our brothers will continue to be where they are. We have to make the stand first. And it's a lot of our sisters that do need to clean up. Bring modesty back. Bring prudence back. Then our brothers will respect us. Our brothers will protect us. But we got to show that within ourselves too, y'all. We can't just expect them to show up and show it to us when we're not even being that to ourselves. When I'm dressed in garb and I can go places and I'm in my garb, like turban up in brothers, I could be in Atlanta. If I'm dressed like that, I don't care how young the young man is. If his pants is sagging, he pulls his pants up. He does. He instantly pulls his pants up. Hey, auntie, and he'll hold his pants. Hey, auntie. So it is the way we show up that makes them show up differently too. If we show up ratchet, they showing up ratchet. So mothers, we got to do better too. Women, we got to do better. Sisters, little girls, we got to do better. Do better with your daughters. Do better with your sisters. Because Mother's great, y'all. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday. Now it's time to close out this meeting. Islam, Islam, Islam. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We're going to turn to the east. It's going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another, standing on our square. And you see, we keep everything together. Our peace sign don't do that. It stays together. This is a unit. This is solid. Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, y'all enjoy your Sunday. Yahshua, thank you so much for coming on. I hope we could build more. I loved your demonstration. I loved your camel back on. I would love to come on your lives and visit you sometime too. NWA, you know I love you to life. I can't wait to see you back on the lives again. So happy that you're here today. Thank you to my cousin Rachel, my niece Bianca. Well, I say my big sister Rachel because she's my cousin, but she's still my sister. Thank you to everyone that came on. Fruits of Life. I love y'all. Always. I just turned my son on to y'all, so hopefully he'll be ordering some of y'all's great CMOS here pretty soon. But yes, I love each and every one of y'all. Don't forget about Unity Day in Atlanta. July the 20th, the Drew Ali Experience is bringing Unity Day to the ATL. Unity Day consists of, if you a Hebrew Israelite, Nation of Islam, Moorish American Muslim, a 5%er, a Baptist, I could care less what you do. If you got a like mind and you looking for the solutions for the people, we doing solutions that day. Solutions that take our people to the next level. Like I said, we got Asha Raj. She's coming through with the miniature farms for y'all. Miniature garden that you could take home with you that's going to already have maybe strawberries, black eyed peas. We got a whole little tray coming for y'all. You got to come so you can learn about what this is. We have to be self-sustainable, y'all. A beggar people can never have nothing. And we being a beggar people when we waiting on them to come and give us something. Whether it's a check, you got to go to the grocery store. You can't depend on them no more. We have to become self-sufficient as we always have been before they got over here. All right? So peace and love. Look out for Unity Day. Come through. We are looking for vendors. The vending fee is $50. That's it. Just bring your table. That's all we ask. You could bring you a table. Vending is $50. And it's going to go to help to produce what we need to produce, whether that's going toward land or whatever. Whatever we're going to need to help produce for our people, where they can always have a place to come. You don't have to live there, but you always have a place to come. If it's to gather food, if it's to gather whatever. We have to set up these places everywhere throughout this world, because the prophet said that I need a temple in each and every state, 1 or 2 or 3, however many. But I need them all over. So each one of us is a temple of our own. All right? And we got to get on this mission of our people and helping our people to become better self-sustainers. Islam. I will see y'all on Friday, Holy Day. I will be back in the A by that time. So see y'all Friday. on here. I'll let y'all know the time because it's probably gonna be totally off. But I'll be back on here on Friday. Peace and love. Let me take my